DocTalk is brought to you by Multimin USA, manufacturers of Multimin 90, Sure Trace Mineral Supplementation by Timed Injection.
Hi there, folks. Welcome to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson. I'm sure glad that you joined us today on the show. We're going to have a very special guest, Dr. Roger Main, who is the director of the Veterinary Diagnostic Lab at Iowa State University. We're going to talk about new technologies and new things that are happening here in the world of veterinary diagnostics at Iowa State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. Stay tuned.
The benefits we've seen with multi-min is mainly in our conception rate in our AI program. We've seen a 5 to 6% increase in our conception rate, which is huge in what we do. Take 5 to 6% increase in your conception rate with 700-800 cows, that's a bunch more AI calves. So that's where we see the big return, is in our conception rate on our AI program.
Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
This segment is brought to you by Rotomix, manufactured in the USA and designed for feeding performance in the feedlots, beef production, dairy, and cow-calf operations.
Roger, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Glad to be here, Dan.
Folks, this is Dr. Roger Main, and he's the director of Veterinary Diagnostic Lab here at Iowa State University. And it's special for me to be on the road, being an Iowa State alum, and you the same, and to be back here in Ames and spend some time with y'all here at the College of Veterinary Medicine.
Well, welcome, and we're glad you're here.
Well, it's always fun to come home.
Yep.
And you direct the Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, and I think a lot of times people don't understand the D-Lab or, you know, the projects and services that you supply. So what are, just let's give a little background as to what you...
Kind of who we are and what we do, And so we have the Diagnostic Lab at Iowa State University is a team of about 25 faculty and a little over 100 staff, technical staff. And we're housed here at the College of Veterinary Medicine here at Iowa State. And we really have a tripartite mission, but the core mission, the leading mission is service. And so we serve as the reference laboratory for practicing veterinarians who send us all kinds of pieces, parts, samples, submissions, and so on from the state of Iowa, but then from, especially in swine, from all over the country. And so essentially we're their reference diagnostic laboratory.
Cool. And Iowa State is unique in the fact that your emphasis on some of the food animal.
Yes. Right. So we're a fully accredited full-service laboratory and that provides comprehensive diagnostic services. So that means services across all of the different ologies or the diagnostic disciplines. But we have about 95% of our service work is related towards food animal medicine. Right. Food animal practitioners.
So what are let's jump into, some of the programs or some of the things, some of the happenings here at Iowa State's Veterinary Diagnostic Lab.
Right. So I think one of the things that people would be surprised about, Dan, is that the amount of really state-of-the-art technologies that are being used to monitor and improve and manage the health of our food supply or our production animal medicine. And as one example is just here locally at our laboratory has seen a very significant increase in the utility of diagnostics over the past number of years. At some scale, we process something a little over 1,000 cases a week. So last year we did something north of 55,000 case submissions, and that's so it's a little over 1,000 boxes that come in, again from Iowa and throughout the country each week that have this kind of wide range of diagnostic testing and evaluation that's done. And one of the larger growth areas has been in the use of molecular diagnostics and genetic sequencing technology. So molecular diagnostics or PCR diagnostics are state-of-the-art tools for detection, presence, absence of specific diseases. The vast majority of that is same-day testing. And then we do an awful lot of genetic sequencing of specific viruses in particular to help practitioners better understand the epidemiology of where these different viruses have come from and how they can use that information to enhance their whether that's vaccine-based decisions and or specifically proactive management decisions to not only say diagnose disease, but moreover to prevent disease.
Well, it's kind of like the CSI for food animals.
Absolutely, absolutely.
When we'll take a break now, but when we come back, we'll have more about veterinary diagnostics with Dr. Roger Main here at Iowa State University.
This segment was brought to you by Brute Cattle Equipment, makers of the Brute Stealth Hydraulic Chute. If the chute fits, swear by it. Visit our website for more information. And by Lalaman Animal Nutrition, dedicated to the development and production of natural and differential solutions for animal nutrition.
Hi there, Dr. Dan from DocTalk. Be sure to join me next week as we're going to talk about how to test for pharmacological agents in animals. Be sure to join me here every Monday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll see you down the road.
Got cattle? Rotomix manufactures a complete line of energy-efficient rotary and vertical feed mixers for feedlots, beef production, dairy, and cow-calf operations. Our mixers are available with the patented Generation 2 staggered rotor, the industry standard for feeding wet rations that include wet distiller's grain. Made in the USA, Rotomix mixers are designed for feeding performance that American cattlemen and dairy producers have come to expect. Rotomix, proud to offer a better mix in less time using less fuel.
Join the team, the Beef Quality Assurance Team. Getting BQA certified shows you're committed to practices that produce the highest quality beef in the world. And by visiting BQA.org, you can take the online certification course at a time that fits your schedule and from the comfort of your home or office. You'll also find lots of helpful tips on improving animal health and animal handling practices. Get certified, BQA certified, because it's about doing the right thing. Visit BQA.org today and become a member of the BQA team.
Working your cattle just got easier. Introducing the new VetGun delivery system, a new way to apply topical insecticides to your cattle. The VetGun lets you remotely treat cattle with effective parasite control, so you can do it from an ATV, on horseback, or just walking among the herd. It's that simple. The proven topical insecticide AML VetCap is used with the VetGun. It works fast to control horn flies and lice while minimizing stress on your cattle. Fast, easy, effective. VetGun. Check with your animal health supplier for availability.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by Norbrook Laboratories, manufacturers of Normycin LA, Normectin Plus, 1%, and Poron, the practical choice for your herd. Welcome back to Doc Talk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Roger Main, who is the director of the Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory at Iowa State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. And we've been having a discussion about the veterinary diagnostic lab in general and the transition to molecular diagnostics. But one of the things that I think that people don't understand is how important the veterinary diagnostic lab is to food security and food safety.
Right. So, kind of in short, I think we all, with a working understanding that healthy animals mean safe food.
Yep.
And so the diagnostic laboratory is our folks here. We have a team of very talented diagnosticians and a very committed team of staff that work behind those folks. But those diagnosticians are really on the front lines that are working on a daily basis. And I mentioned in the previous segment about 1,000 times a week that there's a direct touch to an individual practitioner that's out there working with producers on farms, looking after the health of their animals. And so we really play a significant role at the laboratory of supporting our local practitioners who are working in turn with their producers to do all that we can to help ensure that we have a healthy livestock industry, and more importantly, a safe and sustainable source of protein to feed our people. And of course, a big thing in animal agriculture has occurred too is the growth of our export. Our export meat animal industries has been nothing short of phenomenal, and that's a sustainable thing for our states, our economies. To help protect that market access to trade.
Well, we did a survey. I do some consulting for McDonald's Corporation. Did a survey globally, and asked the consumers to define animal welfare and food safety. And the two things that came up from that survey, number one, the consumer associates a healthy food product or a safe food product coming from a healthy animal.
You bet.
And an animal that's healthy is one that's well taken care of.
That's right. That's right. And I think it's very correct. And there's not a whole lot more than maintaining the health of the animal that has a direct impact on its well-being.
Yes.
And I think one of the things that's probably had been one of the most significant changes in our diagnostic arena has been the use of proactive surveillance-based diagnostics. And so these diagnostics are truly being done on the front end to say is how do we really promote the health, well-being, and ultimately the welfare of the animals that are being reared to ensure we have this not only productive industries that we serve, but moreover a very safe product that is going into the food chain.
Yep, we're going to take another break, but I think it's important to understand that the profession, veterinary profession, is key to animal welfare and food safety. And within our profession, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis in our veterinary diagnostic lab, you're kind of the front door to that all.
Sure. We definitely provide a significant role from delivering state-of-the-art technology and tools to our practitioners who are working producers on the farms on a daily basis.
That's great. Thanks for watching Doc Talk. More with Dr. Roger Main from Iowa State University as Doc Talk is on the road after the break.
This Meet the Veterinarian is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals. Dr. Robert W. Sprowls, Resident Director of Texas A&M's Veterinary Medical Diagnostic Laboratory, was recently honored with the Texas A&M AgriLife Vice Chancellor's Award in Excellence for services, specifically diagnostic services. Working with both large and small cattle operations, Dr. Sprowls brings his skills as a diagnostician, pathologist, and leader to a complex role.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America. A place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Cow-calf, stocker, and feedlot producers know that effective parasite control improves overall herd performance and profitability. Norbrook offers a comprehensive, economical line of pour-on and injectable parasiticides for every livestock operation. Consult with your local animal health supplier to set up a program that protects your investment and brings larger cattle checks this fall. See for yourself why the Noromectin line from Norbrook is the practical choice for your herd. TrueTest Group, weighing systems, electronic identification, EID, electric fencing, and dairy automation systems help farmers and ranchers around the world manage the performance of their livestock for ultimate profitability.
Hi there, folks. Welcome back to Doc Talk. I'm Dan Thompson, and I'm here with Dr. Roger Main, who's the director of the Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory here at Iowa State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. Tickled to death to pry you away. I know how busy you are and come in here, but you know, when we talked about diagnostics and the importance, and we had mentioned during the break some of these transboundary diseases,
right.
Understanding the importance. I don't think people understand the importance
of food security and why we have the diagnostic labs set up the way that we do.
Right. Well, I think one recent example that we've definitely been right in the middle of here at Iowa State recently has been in the spring of 2013 in May. There was a new virus, or a virus that was new to the U.S. That was introduced that causes diarrhea in pigs and definitely a high degree of mortality in neonatal pigs when they're first infected, when the breeding farms are first infected. And just to give you an example of kind of how something like that plays out, and so, I mean, how that starts, it all starts with a case. Yep. Right, where the practicing veterinarian is working with a farmer, they see some pigs of ill health, they submit samples to the diagnostic lab, and then it's really that interaction between the practitioner and the diagnostician going back and forth to say, how do we figure this out? And just to give you an example of how the lab plays a front line in that is to say that starts with a case, and then it's like, but then it's not solved, and so then we involve our more research-focused diagnosticians, and this is in a matter of days, not weeks or months, to say we got this case, it's not resolving. What could it be? What is this? Are there diseases elsewhere in the world that look like this, present like this? And to give you an example, then within a matter of really 10 days of that initial submission, we were able to run what's called a PCR that's specific just for a family of viruses, and says, well, that family of viruses is in there, and look at it under an electron microscope to say, well, there, I can see it, right? And then we run these molecular sequencing technologies to say it's this virus, know the genome of the virus, and then not only know what virus it is, but where in the world it came from.
Good grief.
Within a matter of days. And then, of course, then the lab is on the front lines of, well, how do we develop high-throughput PCR assays to get that those diagnostic tools onboarded here so they can be offered to the industry as the industry works through, well, how are we going to contain, control, and manage this new disease that has been introduced into our country?
So then the from start to finish, from the case from out in the field to having the virus identified and replicated within 10 days.
Yes, it was basically over a 2-week period from the time of that first case coming in to the U.S. Department of Agriculture announcing we now have this new disease that's been entered into the U.S.
It's remarkable, and the importance to that. We got about 30 seconds before the break, but you know, your funding and keeping this is so vital for the economy of the United States.
Sure. So we play a really frontline role, and then we're very fortunate to that we have as far as a very close relationship with our stakeholders, meaning our clients who are the veterinarians, and then the commodity groups who are support them, and between that and our relationship here at the college and with the Iowa Department of Agriculture, it's a really I think it's probably one of the most classic working examples of the the tripartite mission of the land-grant institutions in action on a daily basis.
That's great. After the break, we'll come back and have a conclusion with Dr. Roger Main. You're watching Doc Talk, and we're glad that you joined us.
We've been using Multi-Min for about 7 years. It's one of the most multi-use products that we have here on the farm. Bulls, cows, calves, weaning age cattle, just about everything on the place. If they go through the chute, they get a shot of it. The primary use that we started Multi-Min was in our donor program, in our embryo transplant program. I'd recommend Multi-Min to any producer in the cattle business. Here at Deer Valley, every animal that goes through the chute gets a dose of Multi-Min.
Hi, I'm Kevin Ochsner, host of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman and Colorado Rancher. Join me each week as the National Cattlemen's Beef Association brings you the latest updates in industry information and market news. Plus, each week we provide important educational information and features on cattlemen from across the country just like you. And we can't forget our favorite cowboy poet, Baxter Black. Join me for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, debuting Tuesday nights at 8:30 Eastern, right here on RFD TV.
Beef producers need a practical choice when antibiotic therapy is required. More than ever, they are reaching for non-prescription Noromycin 300LA from Norbrook, specially formulated to produce sustained antibiotic blood levels up to 4 days in cattle. Noromycin 300LA delivers economic, broad-spectrum disease management for pneumonia, shipping fever, pink eye, wound infections, and foot rot. See for yourself why Norbrook's Noromycin 300LA is the practical choice for your herd.
Hi there, Dr. Dan from DocTalk. Be sure to join me next week as my guest will be Dr. Hans Katsia from Iowa State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. We're going to talk about issues surrounding testing for residues in animals, whether it's performance-enhancing drugs or residues from antibiotics. Be sure to join me here every Monday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on RFD TV, and I'll see you down the road.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Hi there, folks. Welcome back to Doc Talk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Roger Main, who's the director of the Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory at Iowa State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. And we're talking about diagnostics and incredible technology that y'all have, and amazing 10 days from the time of practitioner sees the disease in the field and all of a sudden we know what's going on. What's next? I mean, there's some limitations out there, and what are some things we have to do?
We've definitely learned a lot, continue to learn every day.
Yep.
But this introduction of this new disease into the U.S. swine herd, essentially, and unfortunately, once this new disease got into what would otherwise be a naive population as a U.S. herd, so to speak, it's definitely shown its ability to spread quite quickly. And so there's a lot of parallels that we're saying, well, how do we learn from this to make us better in the future? And one of the key components that we're working in cooperation with our peer diagnostic labs, including Kansas State, is being how do we enhance our animal health information management networks, if you will, because that is an area that really has some opportunity to improve, to really enhance the country's preparedness and readiness to manage new diseases whether that's eradicating diseases that we have, or containing new diseases that may occur in the future. And it's really all about how do we get user-friendly systems in place that can readily link, whether that's an animal movement or a diagnostic submission, back to a specific herd, and get it in a network that the folks that need that access to that information, meaning the practitioner, at producer groups, state animal health officials in the case of regulatory diseases, to say where we have seamless systems in which information can move. Because one thing we've learned for sure about this is, so much of animal agriculture today runs on wheels.
Yep.
The amount of trucks, right? So the amount of animal movement that occurs in this country is tremendous, and all of that movement and the transition of animal agriculture to segregated systems of production has really been built around enhancing the animal health, welfare, well-being, and productivity. And we've sure seen that, and which has played a significant role in enhancing the well-being of the industries and the competitiveness in the global marketplace, which is what's a significant reason why the U.S. exports has increased so dramatically in recent years. And so it's how do we enhance our information management infrastructure such that we're in a position such that those market accesses are sustainable.
Well, at the end of the day, you've got tremendous technology, and we need to be able to trace the animal movements.
Right.
So.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks a million for being on the show.
You bet. Thanks,
always a pleasure to come back to
I'm glad you could come visit us here at the College of Vet Med at Iowa State.
Well, thanks for taking the time out, and thank you for watching Doc Talk. If you want to know more about what we do at Doc Talk, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. Remember, always work with your local practitioner. You've been watching us here on RFD TV. We're sure glad you joined us. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson from Kansas State University, and I'll see you down the road. Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
For more information about this program or previous programs, go to DocTalkTV.com. Doc Talk was brought to you by Multimin USA, manufacturers of Multimin 90, sure trace mineral supplementation by timed injection,